Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay? I tried to I invested in the AirPods
Oh
and
yeah,
now I have my microphone. So I was trying to get like
yeah,
clear
yeah.
audio.
You're super clear, actually.
Super clear.
Yeah, yeah.
How's it going? You shaved.
I did. It was time. It was, the thing about a beard that people don't tell you, it starts itching real bad at a certain
You know
point.
what? I can imagine. I I can imagine. How are you?
Can't complain. Just came back from vacation. Never long enough. You know how that
Where'd you go?
Savannah, Georgia. They're on the beach. So
Oh, nice. How long were you guys there for?
just a week. So yeah, not too well. I
Just
mean,
a week.
yeah, it was a few days there, and then we stopped by a few days in Atlanta just to visit some friends and family and stuff like that. So on the beach, it wasn't that many days, like three. One of them got rained
Mm,
out, so yeah.
yeah.
I tried to stick it out. It was pouring down rain. We tried to just wait, but it wasn't happening. So yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked at the amount of rain that Phoenix gets because the other night I was out in Scottsdale and it came down. I was stuck. I was on a date. Okay, so we were stuck there because it was literally like a storm and the power went out.
Oh, nice.
So we were stuck on our date for like hours. It wasn't a bad date, so
Yeah.
thankfully it was like a good person that I was out with.
Uh-huh.
But oh my god, I was like, imagine if it was a really bad date and I couldn't leave, and I
Oh
was
yeah,
just stuck in at this dinner for
that would
hours
be
on end.
terrible. That would be
Yeah,
terrible. Yeah, thankfully it was a good one, so you didn't have to worry about
yeah, no. Well, and the bartenders were like, "Who wants margaritas?" So no one's gonna say. What are we gonna do? Say no while
it.
we're
Yeah.
stuck in there for God knows how long? Also, I'm drinking. You got me hooked on this coffee
It's
now.
good. It's good because I walked up to this lady because she was ordering, and I was like, "What are you ordering?" And she was like, "This is this viral TikTok drink that uh, and she sent me or she had me take a picture of it, and so I ordered it, and it was really good. So I was like, "Well, this is gonna be my drink for the next few days. I don't think I'm gonna have it every single day because I'm sure it has like high calorie content.
So much sugar.
There's no way it
Yeah.
tastes that good and like is healthy for you. It's impossible."
No, you know whose drink order I did screenshot who it killed it this weekend? Laura Lee Chapados. Is that how you
Yeah.
say your last name? Chap. She's like Laura Lee Chap on Instagram.
Uh-huh.
Holy crap. First of all, did you see how she looked at the Chicago Pro?
I didn't get a chance to. It was incredible.
Her package is top tier.
Oh
Like her glutes were just like popping up, and she's for bikini too, because I
yeah.
know she wants to go for the Olympia. Oh, that's
Yeah.
not the door to close the closet, so everyone just got a
That's all
glimpse of
right.
my closet.
We got a little view of the wardrobe. So it's fine.
Yeah, but she looked insane. Anyway, she has this. She has really good. I'll send it to you so we can both try it, and then we'll upload it on our Instagrams. But she has like a basically like a sugar-free frappuccino that she uses
Oh,
when
really?
she's in her prep. That's what she
hmm
drinks.
And
So
so
it's like,
you said
okay.
it's good. Did you try it?
I haven't tried it yet, so
Okay.
we can both do our first impressions
Yeah,
on it,
yeah.
and I'll
No,
I'll
send it
screenshot and
over.
send it to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
send it over.
for sure.
So the funny thing is that at my last day in Atlanta, I realized, oh, the Chicago Pro is in Atlanta that this year. So I was like, I should have stayed longer. I didn't know, but whatever.
Dang it. You know what would be really cool is if we scheduled to do a meetup at a
Mhm.
show or at a competition.
That would be
That would
cool.
be insane. That would be really cool. I need to look at what's going on.
Yeah, that
Um,
would be
I
cool.
I was supposed to train for a competition that's going down actually next month,
Mhm.
but with the move, like I moved unexpectedly, like literally
Yeah.
made the decision overnight and then left, and so ever
How
since then it's been
come?
kind of chaotic. You know,
Story.
that yeah, that can be part of this podcast episode. I went through a lot, yeah. So the last time you and I talked, I was in Pennsylvania,
Uh-huh. And you
and I
were.
now, yeah, and I was halfway through my master's
Mhm.
degree, finished that this year and got my master's and got it with not honors, but I got an extra certificate for like
Uh-huh.
leadership, which
Yeah.
was really cool. That was a nice little surprise. Um, Yeah, so funny, not so funny story. But so you know how there's toll roads? Do you have toll roads where you live or no?
I mean, not where I live, but I know what they are. I mean, there's
You know what that?
because going through Atlanta and stuff and other places, we
Mm-hmm.
have toll roads. Yeah.
Yeah, so Pennsylvania and New Jersey, New York, they all have insane toll roads.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to get something called an Easy Pass in
Mm-hmm.
order to go through like the Easy Pass lanes.
Right.
I never got an Easy Pass transponder, but I didn't know there were fees on top of the normal fee that you pay if you go through, like it's for not having the transponder
Yeah,
itself.
because they're like you're basically stealing the road is what you're doing.
Yeah, and so I paid the like I would go online and pay like the $5 whatever fee it was to use that.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know about the other fees. They never sent me a letter. 2 years later, I had racked up like $8,000 in fees.
You're joking.
Yes. No, absolutely not joking. So I get an email and a notification, and they're like, "Hey, this is going to collections." And I was like,
You
"What?"
would think though that they would like notify you. Did they?
They claim that they did. I talked to so many agents about it. I was like, I never received a single letter in the mail,
Mm.
email, nothing. Obviously, if I had, like the
You would have
first time,
known.
if I had
Yeah.
gotten a $500 fee, yeah, I would have taken care of that, and then other things would have happened.
Yeah.
So whatever. And so I get that letter at the second week of May.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm in full height of finals week, my recital, my family's coming down from my graduation. Like it was stress central. So I wound up talking to the Easy Pass people. I was like, look, I never got a single letter. I don't know what we can do. Is there a payment plan I can do? And they're like, oh yeah, well since you had no idea, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off the late fees, etc. So I only had to pay $2,500
Oh,
out
only.
of the eight that
That's it.
only. Yeah, so that was a fun time. It was a big learning lesson, learning
What a
curve
graduation present. Yeah.
to myself. Oh, buddy, it gets better. I was seeing someone in the spring,
Mm-hmm.
and I've like hinted at it. He was a great dude at the very beginning. We got along, we lived it together. He pushed me to like do my personal training certification. He was actually my trainer for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and we were together a lot of the time. He ghosted the week that I graduated.
What do you mean? Like completely like just off the face of the planet?
Off the face of the planet, stopped answering my calls, text messages,
Oh, that's odd.
didn't message me on Instagram, Facebook. And to be clear, this was an exclusive relationship. It wasn't just like we were hanging out and trying to see, like,
Yeah. You were like
we,
in a real relationship.
yeah, like we were
That's
gonna
like
like
me coming
move.
home and then like my wife's not there or something.
Yeah,
I never get a
legit.
call or anything.
Legitimately, like we made plans to like move. We were gonna open up like a gym together. We were talking about starting a supplement line together. He wanted me to move in like 6 months. Homie just disappeared. And so I was like, and then my car was breaking down all crazy like for the last few weeks. And I was like, I cannot take living out here anymore. Like everything is just like, going downhill in a very rapid way. And I have family out in Phoenix. I have so many friends out here and a lot more yoga opportunities out here. And I
Mm-hmm.
had been flirting with the idea of moving to, it was either Phoenix or it was either Arizona or Florida that I was going to want to move to after I graduated. Um, and so Florida was really for the person that I was dating at the time. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's go to Arizona. I miss the desert heat. They have great Mexican food, and I have friends out there. So the day of my graduation and grad party, at my grad party, I was like, you know what, guys? I'm moving to Arizona in 3 days. So
Nice.
the day after I graduated, I packed up my apartment, and then 3 days later, I got on the road and I moved out to Phoenix.
Did well, did you like so so that was it? Like you just left? Like there well, I guess you didn't have anything to tie you down, really. So
Not
you
after
kind of just
that,
did
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I finished school. I was gonna stick around and like try to help my ex, like, renovate his house, fix everything up, and then
Yeah.
when he sold it, then we were gonna move.
Uh-huh. And he beat you to it, it sounds like. Yeah.
But he's still over there, so I moved. So I just left.
So since then you didn't like talk to him or anything? Like you don't even know what's going on with him, or like you found out through the grapevine something's going on?
No, like nothing's, I
Nothing.
think he's still doing his thing. He's still doing, his personal training, clientele program, all that
You
stuff.
never
So,
wanted to like to see him or anything like that. You were just like whatever.
if someone doesn't want to see me
Yeah, yeah. No,
or
I'm.
talk to, like, yeah, I made the effort. I was like, hey, like, what is going on? Can we talk about this?
Mhm.
And legitimately, like, we had this conversation, and I was like, what are you doing? And like he literally would not even face me. So I was
Mm.
like, okay, I can't. If you're gonna be I can't. We can't have
Yeah.
a conversation if there's only one person talking. It's not a
Right. Right.
conversation. So after that, that was it.
Yeah.
Didn't hear, haven't heard from him since.
Uh huh.
But
Hmm.
it was a really shitty thing that happened. But it is the catalyst that got me out here.
Where you are.
So
Yeah.
yeah, life is
Well,
funny that way.
so what's the plan there where you are?
So I know you've seen kind of a little bit over the weekend, but this previous weekend, I just completed my last assist for booty yoga. So
Mhm.
I am now a master trainer, which means I'm going to start leading yoga certifications all over the globe. I'm
You
going
got
to start
masters in
working.
everything. You got masters in cello. You got masters in
Yep.
yoga.
Yeah. Yeah, masters in yoga. Yeah, so I did my master training thing. So now I'm going to be leading that. We have a film shoot coming up in about a week and a half in Sedona. We're going to do some really cool
Cool.
promo content. I get to start leading certifications right away. So I'm leading a like a bands and a hit sculpt certification, and then the following weekend I'm leading a booty yoga certification. Weekend after that, I'm going to start teaching at our flagship studio in Scottsdale.
Hmm.
And then I'm studying to do the NASM cert
Yeah,
sometime
yeah, yeah.
in the near future. I have the textbook, but yeah, with
Yeah,
school
I
and
thought
everything, I
about
was
doing
like,
NASM myself, but right now I don't really have the time. But yeah, that's it. When I talked to a guy, a trader at my gym a while back, he said that's the one to get. So people
yeah,
get other
yeah,
ones, but
that's what I've been hearing. They have really good educational tools for everyone, and so I was like, okay, if we're gonna spend the money, we may as well like invest
mhm.
in the right certification. And that's not meaning to be offensive to anyone else, but
Right. Are you
you
doing
know,
anything with the cello part of it? The cello part of your life, like the celloist part of your life?
so I'm still yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, I'm still teaching my kids from Pennsylvania online. I teach them over Zoom because there aren't a lot of teachers in that area. So until they're able to find a new teacher, I'm helping them with that transition.
Right.
I'm actually also recording some tracks for booty yoga so we can mix it and turn it into EDM music that we can use for the
Kind
classes.
of cool.
Yeah, so I'm doing that. And then just doing like fun little, like, we have little parties where we just get together and read music none of us have ever seen before and see how much we can mess it up and make it not sound
Well,
beautiful.
are you gonna do like any kind of orchestra work, or you're probably like done with that for now? Like, are you gonna ever be
Um,
part of an orchestra or
I
anything?
would love to be in an orchestra. I think I'm probably in the next few weeks going to start taking lessons again just to push myself personally.
Hmm.
But it's been nice to kind of take a break because, like anything, doing cello like 12 to 14 hours a day for the last 2 years, it
Yeah.
can burn you out a little
Right.
bit. So it's nice to have a balance now, and also just to not have to be at classes, writing papers, doing tests, so I can practice at my leisure and then go to the gym, come back, study, listen to symphonies, things like that. But probably no orchestra for the time being. I'm not in tip top shape for that yet. But yeah.
Sure. So that takes a lot out of you, huh, to be in the orchestra. It's
Yeah, and taking auditions, it's like imagine having a 30-second job interview.
mm,
They can tell if they want you within the first 30 seconds. They'll just go, "Thank you," and then you leave.
well,
So it's
that's
wild.
impressive.
It's a crazy world to be in. But yeah, yeah. So it's been a crazy journey, but it's been really cool to be out here. I love everyone thinks I'm psychotic because it's like 115 degrees out here in
Well, you
the
said
middle of July.
you miss the desert heat. I'm like, who misses the desert heat? I guess.
Me, I can't stand humidity. If we were in the humidity, my hair would be a cloud right now. It'd be so crazy. Yeah, and the last time I was on this podcast, I had black hair, and it was
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. It's
down
totally
here. So
different.
now it's like blonde and shorter. So
Yeah,
every
totally
time
different.
we're on here, something's changed.
New person. It's like I'm talking to a totally different person.
It's all 17 of my personalities that just jump out when we're on the
No
podcast.
worries. No worries.
So what brand are you working with supplement wise?
Right now,
Species?
right now, just species. And, I'm kind of like, so I ran into a problem where basically I just had a lot of like shows, a lot of interviews, a lot of people that I interviewed, and I'm like running out of time essentially. Cause, I also
Oh.
work like a regular job and, family and all that stuff. So it's like,
Hmm.
I haven't had the time to like really uh, allocate to like get in collabing with businesses.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, it's a process for sure. So,
No, absolutely. I know you like I remember I think I was creeping like a month or so back and it's like, dang, he has put out so much content. I
yeah,
was so happy for you though, because it takes a lot of time. So
it does.
that's
It does.
awesome.
It does. It's like it's more time than I thought. And it's like once it started ramping up, it was like I actually had to take like a few weeks. I was just like, I'm not doing anything, like no recordings, no nothing.
Yeah. Being
But
in front of a screen is just
yeah,
it's rough.
but on the other end of that, the fitness end, I did lose like. So when we talked, I was about. You probably can't tell because I've been eating, like a madman. Well, I was on
You know,
the.
I your pumps are crazy. I see what kind of shape you're in. Like, and you were in great shape last year, but I feel like you really dialed
Yeah, I
in.
lost like 35 pounds or so. So I went from like 279. Now I'm like, last time I weighed myself was like 248, something like that, 247,
The
30-ish.
machine.
Yeah. So I was like, it's time. It's time for me to drop some weight. I'm getting older. I don't need to be that heavy. And, so how
Yeah.
about you? What have you been focusing on as far as training?
Consistency, honestly. My trainer, Amy Lynn, she lives out here in Phoenix. We're
Mhm.
trying to find a place together so we can live together in the
Oh, that's
next few
dope.
months. But now I get to train with her 3 times a week in
Wow.
Scottsdale at these really, really cool facilities. I'm also You know who Cass Martin is?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm trying to find her. She lives in Scottsdale,
Oh, yeah.
so
You
I'd
definitely should.
it's like a treasure hunt to try to find what gym she's at so I can like take a picture with her.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, her shoulders inspire me, so I've definitely been focusing more on upper body. I've been training that a lot harder than I ever have. Um and also just consistency after my master's degree. So I'm trying to go to the gym 6 times a week and dial it
Ooh,
in on nutrition.
six
Yeah,
times a week. No
six
rest days, huh?
6 times a week. You have Sundays for yoga.
Oh, yeah. I get, well, active rest day, I guess, so to
Yeah,
speak.
exactly. Yeah, no. So I've been working on that nutrition, and then what was I gonna say? Oh, I've been working with Bucked Up supplements. So
Hmm.
like, I got approved to be in their ambassador program a couple months ago,
Oh,
and
cool.
I freaking love their supplements. And that was one thing I was gonna talk to you about. Is
Yeah.
like with species, like what is your favorite thing from them?
Generally, my number one thing that I always like love to use is their protein. Their protein is
Yeah,
like one of my favorites, especially like with their so they're predominantly don't have any lactose in it. I think there's like 1% or something like that, which is also good for my wife because she's lactose intolerant. So it works
yeah.
out. How about you with that brand?
Oh man, their pre-workout probably. They also are just constantly coming up with like new flavors and new formulas. So it's like I gotta catch them all. I have like 4 different types of pre-workouts in my kitchen, a couple of different things with their protein. Their
Yeah.
protein is they have horchata flavored protein, which
What
do you
is
know
that?
what
I don't even know what that
horchata?
is.
Okay. So horchata is like this amazing Mexican drink. It's like sweet rice milk
Oh, cool.
with cinnamon.
Hmm.
It's so good. And so they put that in a protein flavor. So it's like, okay, I can pretend I'm drinking that stuff and I'm actually drinking protein. It's really good.
Are they
Uh,
local, like to that area, or no?
no, they're not, but I know one of the CEOs, he's
Hmm.
Hispanic.
Oh, that's why.
So yeah, yeah, he has like the dopest flavors. Like for pre-workout, they have like mango habanero or pineapple jalapeno and all these crazy things. It's like, oh, that's so dope. Like I don't know a lot of other brands that have really
No, no.
like
Usually it's
niche
like,
things.
yeah. Usually it's like chocolate or vanilla or like
Mango
peanut butter.
pineapple.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. For the
Yes.
pre-workouts, yeah, it would be like a lot of fruit stuff, that kind of thing. So
Yeah, so their pre-workouts and their protein is honestly like it's changed the game for me. So they're a really cool brand to work with.
how much, like pre-workout wise, how like be like one scoop, two scoops, like what works for you? Like
It's
caffeine.
so bad now because I hate cycling pre-workout out of my system, you know,
Oh,
like how you're
yeah,
supposed to.
yeah.
It's the worst, so I haven't been. So now I'm at 2 scoops of pre-workout and
How,
an energy drink. I'm here for a good time, not for a long time, okay? I
no,
don't recommend this.
yeah, your
It's
heart's gonna
so,
stop one day
yeah,
in the
I'm gonna just
while
be
you're
mid
cycling.
lift. Yeah, I'm just gonna go down just doing like an overhead press or something. I'm just
That's
gonna
so
die.
funny.
Yeah, but I like to do I do 2 scoops right now, and the flavor that I'm using is cotton candy from their Woke AF line. And the cool part is too, they have like a couple of different formulas they use. So for
Mm,
the people who don't like the tingles, they have like the nootropics or the nootropics, and it still gets you that like mental focus, but without giving
less
you the annoying
energetic.
like
Yeah.
yeah sensation. And so I really appreciate that about them. And then they also have like um what's it called? They have supplements for like that are safe for women who are like pregnant.
Mm,
So I thought that was really cool because
that,
that's also a niche thing. Because once once most women get pregnant, they're like, oh, I have to stop working out, and I can't take the supplements that helped for me to keep my body to help me to maintain my body.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's got to be like something that I've never heard. I can't think of any supplement line that does something specifically for pregnant women. That, yeah, that's very unique. That's
yeah,
very
it's called bumped up, bumped up. Yeah, it's super cute. Yeah, so
that's funny.
um yeah, a couple of my friends who are actually currently pregnant, they're like, oh, okay, like what should I do? I'm like, check out this part of the website, stay away from everything
Yeah,
else. So they like it. Obviously the formula is a little different because they have to use different ingredients. So like,
right.
oh, it might be like a little bit chalky, but
Sure.
it's better than not
Better
being able to
nothing,
take your
right? Yeah.
subs.
Because
Yeah.
that's a lot of times that's what happens. Though, like when we get pregnant, they just stop working out because they're like, I'll just pick up later. But it's actually, they say it's not a good thing to do. That you can work out almost up to the point of, I think there's obviously a range,
Like
but
like 35 weeks. I
yeah,
think
I'm
it's
not I'm
30
not
up
a
to
hundred
35
percent
weeks.
sure. Yeah, but yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so I know at least my best friend Becky, she's about to have her fourth baby, and I
Wow.
think she stopped teaching yoga around 32 or 35 weeks.
Mhm.
So, but she's also a superhuman because she was still doing like burpees and stuff with her big old baby bump. I'm like,
Yeah,
you're crazy. So
that's
that baby's gonna like shoot out with a six
I've
pack.
seen I've seen people like do like crazy stuff like that, and it always makes me like nervous because it looks like at any moment they could give birth. Like, so it's stuff.
I know.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
also that's part of it too. I'm like, man, like it was so funny. I'm like, man, I thought by 27 I would have like my house and be married and have kids, and I'm like, do I want to have kids right now? Like I haven't even hit the peak of what I want to look like fitness wise. Like would you be able to get me out of a gym and like, have me
Yeah,
take care of the kids? I don't know. I don't know if
yeah,
I could
yeah.
do it.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of girls that I know. Um, I'm not too close with them, but I do just kind of seen them around, and they've had kids, and they've bounced back. I mean, almost immediately. It's funny how that is. Like some people, they just get taken down, and then others, like they'll have their kid, and they'll be back in the gym like shortly after that. So I don't know. I guess it depends on your willpower. So
Yeah, for sure. There's this one woman I know who's like a really amazing like yoga teacher. She had her kid, and I think like 2 weeks later she was already not in the gym, but she was like going on walks and everything like that. And oh my gosh, she's leaner than I am. Like she looks amazing. I'm like, dang, like
yeah,
kudos to you.
yeah,
But yeah, so
crazy. Yeah.
what else have I mean? I can't speak to it because I've never been pregnant.
Yeah,
So I
me
mean,
either.
like,
I think
you
we're in
mean
the
you
same
never?
boat.
Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to experience pregnancy.
No,
How dare
no,
you?
it's not my top list right now. But yeah, but
Yeah, yeah.
as far as eating, like, what have you been doing? Anything? How was like eating and during the master's program? At least the second, portion, or the portion that I didn't get a chance to see you in?
Oh, yeah. So, to be totally honest, after the last time we spoke, it went downhill pretty quickly. Like my nutrition was so bad, and then I was doing my 200 hours yoga teacher training during the summer, and I was running a 6 week program at the same time where I had to log on 6 days a week. So it's 6 days a week for 6 weeks. So 30, like, what is that? Yeah, like, I don't know, 36 workouts or something like that in that time that I was leading like live, and then I would download, upload it. So I was trying my best, but honestly, it was so hard between studying, playing cello, teaching my kids, and doing that 6 week program to eat right. So my diet was not that great up until I want to say New Year's. Like from then to like New Year's, like my diet was fluctuating.
Yeah.
And then once New Year's hit, I did the 75 hard challenge. You know what that is?
Mm-mm.
Andy Frisella, he came up with the 75 hard challenge. So it's where you work out 75 days in a row, and you have to do 2 workouts a day, and they have to be at least 45 minutes. One of them has to be outside.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to read 10 pages of an entrepreneurial or like self like help book.
Yeah.
You have to drink a gallon jug of water every single day. You have to adhere to a diet, and you have to take progress pictures every single day for 75 days, and no alcohol or cheat meals for 75 days. So that really reset. And like a lot of people were like, yeah, that's too hard. It's not sustainable. To me, it's not supposed to be sustainable. That's why it's 75 days, but it helps to get you in check if you have been lacking that discipline. And I definitely was. So when I started that program, I just told myself, okay, like obviously no cheat meals. And then you know what you're not going to bring into this house. So you're not going to bring cookies. You're not going to like buy the stuff to make yourself healthy tacos, because at the end of the day, you know you're not going to have healthy tacos, like all of those things. So I started eating a lot more fish, chicken, ground turkey, switching to brown rice. My biggest vice was always soda.
Mm-hmm.
So cutting soda out, like because I'm not a big party person anymore. So alcohol was easy for me. I didn't have time in my master's degree, but it was the junk food. So I was like packing all of my food every single day before school. And also with the pandemic still going on, I didn't have nearly as many classes on campus. So that kind of worked to my advantage as well.
Right. What kind of soda did you drink? Just regular soda?
Coke.
Just regular, not diet?
Just,
All
nope.
that sugar?
Yeah, but I found out, I think the thing was I just really like the carbonation.
Oh, yeah.
So now I drink a lot more just like sparkling waters and stuff like that. So that's helped to curb my cravings for it.
For sure.
Yeah, and then coffee. Yeah, so the 75 hard challenge is definitely something cool to look into and help me to really rein in my diet. And it changed my mindset so hard, because I would listen to my podcasts, or I would also listen to audiobooks when I would do my outside walk, because this girl, she's like dead to the world right now.
Yeah,
but we would do a 45-minute walk together every single day. That turned into our bonding time. And some of those days were not easy because it was Pennsylvania in January, so it was like snowing. So I'm just like outside, like feeling like my parents, like walking up and down hill like 2 miles in the snow.
That's crazy. So I guess to go back to the point where you mentioned that some people are like, well, that's not sustainable. It all kind of depends on like what you're using it for, right? So it's like in your case, you weren't using it as a way to like, this is how I'm gonna live the rest of my life. It's basically, like you said, just mentally like reset yourself to where now you're kind of used to keeping yourself in check, as before you weren't like used to that. You kind of got out of that habit, so to speak.
Yeah, well, because they have a whole app for you to like do your checklist every single day. And for me, I'm the kind of person, I like to check things off a list. And we're creatures of habit and routine. So for me, having a routine and knowing what I need to do, that just helped me so much. And that was when I wasn't even in school. My school didn't start up again until almost February. So forcing myself, having that whole month to get myself back in line before school started, and then adding the school routine back in made it so much easier. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it's not like I'm going to be doing this every single day for the next 10 years. Like definitely not sustainable.
Right.
But as a jump start for so many of us who obviously suffered during the pandemic and needing that routine and that motivation to get back into the gym, get back to eating healthy, it was just a really nice way to set myself up for success that way. And then ever since then, it's been my diet has just been, like I said, chicken, fish, brown rice. Like I do lentil pasta now instead of like regular things like that. You know, in my diet right now, I have my whole meal plan, but I'm not gonna list off all of those things right now. And also, like Amy's like, hey,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
give my secrets away.
Sure.
So
No, no, definitely
yeah,
don't need to do that. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like one of those things, right, where your taste buds adjust. So it's like as soon as you stop eating, the junk food and all that other stuff, and you start like infusing like good nutritious meals, all after a little while, like that's what your taste buds get used to, and that's what they crave. So it's like when you get hungry, you
yeah,
just crave good nutritious food as opposed to, you know, Coca-Cola. So
yeah. Using it as fuel for your body too, right? Because you're like, man, I'm not gonna be able to do 90 minutes on the treadmill if I don't eat my freaking carbs tonight. If I go out or if I eat like crap, you know, I'm not gonna feel good tomorrow when I'm feeling all greasy on the treadmill.
yeah, that's kind of
So
like my thing. Like I tend to like feel worse if I eat like crappy drink. The next morning, it's like I am kick myself because I'm like, well, I wish I didn't do that, because it's like now my whole essentially day is ruined. It takes me forever to like kind of get out of that fog, and then it's just a mess. And then whenever I stick to a good routine, I mean, I feel good, I train well, everything like mentally, like good mental disposition, is just overall just better for you. And it's I don't know how people like continue to live cycling like terrible habits like that. I could see how like eventually you just become like even not physical, like mentally depressed. Food
yeah,
plays a big part in that too. So
it really does. No, and I feel like not enough people talk about that either. It's like food plays a really big part in how you feel about yourself.
sure.
Like, and certain foods, like at least with me, when I consume too much dairy, like I just literally start, like, I feel bloated because my body's not used to having dairy in its system. So I'm like gonna explode, but also then mentally, it just like, it messes with my thought process. Like I really, like you said, I can't get out of it. And then I don't know if this happens to you, but after I have any alcohol, it doesn't matter what skinny drinks you try to have, my face is so puffy
Yeah,
because I
happens
don't
to me all
drink
the time.
anymore. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm like, no, is it worth like feeling like crap and feeling like I gained weight in my face overnight?
Yeah. Yeah. My wife was like, I was touching my face. She's like, you look a little swollen. And I was like, what do you mean I look swollen? It's like, you look a little swollen. So I went online and I looked it up. Apparently what happens is so like alcohol dehydrates you. So then your skin like tries to hold on to whatever water it can. And then because you're dehydrated. So then it just it swells. So
Mm.
yeah, it's not a good look and also not like good for you. So
Well, and also I always tell, because everyone's like, why don't you drink beer? And like, I think I read somewhere a beer is equivalent to 7 slices of bread.
oh
So
yeah,
when I look at a beer, I'm like,
yeah.
no,
Just
like
the
it's
bread.
not
You
worth.
just see a loaf of bread.
Yeah, I'm like, do you know how much bread that is? Like, we're good here. We're
Yeah,
good.
yeah. No, definitely. Good life choices, help in the long run, but also in the short run. Like even sleep. Like for me, like I don't sleep well in general, but also like the choices that I make. I was talking to a doctor, and they were basically saying, it was a sleep doctor, and she said that you have to prioritize sleep. It's like it's not just going to happen, especially for people that have a hard time like with sleeping. It's like if you drink, if you stay on electronics for like right before bed, if you go to bed late, things like that, like you're gonna sabotage yourself. So that was a big part of like me making like better choices too, because it's like I want to be able to sleep well. Nothing sucks more than like not getting restful sleep.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure you have more to talk about when it comes to that. Well, that can be a whole other episode
Yeah,
too, where we just talk
absolutely,
about how to prioritize stuff like that
for
because
sure.
so many people are like, yeah, taking all of those crazy supplements and training hard is nice, but there's a lot to be said about getting adequate hydration and sleep. That'll make the biggest difference in your physique as well.
Yeah, I would love to see if I can get her on. I might have to reach out there and see if I can get her on. Maybe the three of us, and talk.
Yeah.
Because I think they say like statistically, like people are generally like way under rested, like as far as sleep, particularly sleep is concerned. Just the hustle and bustle of work and constantly ambition and working more and doing more and pushing yourself and things like that. I saw on Instagram, it was one of those like motivational type of speeches, and it was like Steve Harvey or somebody, and they were like, you're sleeping too much, like when you're sleeping the other person's working, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I wrote on there, I was like, well, if you follow this advice, then be sure you're gonna get like heart problems, like depression, all these. You need your sleep. Don't listen to these people. Like,
Yeah, at the bare minimum 6 hours.
yeah,
Bare minimum to function properly. But I was shocked when I read 6 to 10 hours for like an adequate night's sleep. Like after leading this last weekend, I knew it was gonna happen. I was like, okay, I'm gonna fall asleep at like 7 p.m., wake up at 4 a.m. I went to bed at 7 p.m. and I woke up at 7 o'clock this morning. Like my body needed the full like 12 hours of sleep because of the training and the movement this weekend. But now I literally try to get anywhere from like 7 to 9 hours of sleep, which I always thought was, silly, because I was like, oh no, I can, like, I'm functioning and I'm only on 4 hours of sleep. I used to be one of those people. I'm like, I'm about to grind. Right. So like I have to brag about how little sleep I got. And it's like, actually, that's how you burn out. Absolutely. So yeah, definitely super important.
Yeah, that's what that doctor told me, 7 to 9, and I was like, wow, that seems like a long time. But I've also noticed that when I get enough sleep, I do more. So like I might get less sleep and have more time, but I move slower. I'm not as I'm not as driven mentally, not as driven. If I have a good night's sleep, I might not have as much time, but I can do more in that time. I'm way more energetic. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's definitely a trade-off. So, but
yeah, definitely. So we'll have to dive into that sometime in the next few weeks, just about
for sure, yeah,
prioritizing. And it's definitely something that's underutilized. Catch up, talk about everything. Yeah. How often are you training right now?
So now I train at home now, and I'm in the process of actually remodeling my gym in my garage. So, but I still I still get in around all the construction stuff. I still get in about like 5 days or so.
Oh yeah.
And the other days I try to like just go walking or do some kind of active rest day type of stuff. Yeah. So yeah.
So are you doing a lot of cardio right now too, since you're trying to like shred out?
Yeah. A lot.
What's your cardio?
I just walking. Lately, it's been just walking.
How long?
Oh, let me see here. About 3 to 4 miles. So anywhere from an hour to hour and 30 minutes and stuff like that. But also, the diet plays a huge part in that too. The like lower calories, eating more often, smaller meals. That was part of my problem, was that I would just eat bigger meals, and it's like I didn't really need it, like because I was kind of full. Half of the meal made me full, but I just kept eating it anyway. So now I just decided, I don't need that much food in one sitting. So
I didn't realize too how much food affected your energy levels, because yesterday I led the first half of training for about 4 or 5 hours, and I got frustrated because it was Sunday. So a lot of restaurants were closed, but they didn't have it listed that they were closed online. Mm-hmm. So I drove a couple of places and I couldn't get food, and I still had to go back, lead the other couple of hours of training. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I can skip it and just push through. Like I have my supplements, blah, blah. And I was like, no, like you're already, you're already exhausted. Mm-hmm. Just like go get a sandwich. And I can't tell you, like I felt so much more awake after just eating Like it wasn't even a big meal, like you said, like
Mhm.
just eating a little bit and eating like the right things for your body literally can change your energy levels. So yeah, now I try to eat like 5 meals a day, I think.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like what is food, right? It's like you know, it's chemical bonds put together. When you digest it, they break apart and then they go to whatever, part of the body that needs it. So it's like, yeah, it's gonna have like a good effect, but people don't think about it. They kind of disregard food, and yeah, that when you do that, you're kind of hurting yourself, so to speak.
Yeah, or when people are like, "Oh, I eat whatever I want because I work out." It's like that's why you're not going to see any differences in your body, too, though. You're like, "Oh, I've been the same size for months." I'm like, "Well, do you want to commit or not?" Because I
Right.
noticed the biggest change, especially over the last few weeks, when Amy sent me like my new diet plan, and then I just became more cognizant of, what am I putting in my body,
Yeah.
and I do have a cheat meal once a week at least,
Yeah. Yeah. But
so,
and
but it's
and another part of it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to
no,
interrupt.
it just made a huge difference just doing that.
Yeah. Another part of it is people sometimes will say things like, "Oh, I'm tired of." I'm just tired of, you know, watching what I eat, and I'm tired of this, and it's like they almost want it just to happen, but it's like I know you might be tired of it, but it doesn't, like it doesn't work that way. Anything like worth having, is worth working for. So it's like you know, it's kind of like, I mean, are you tired of like from getting a paycheck? Or, you got to go to work to do that. I'm sure you don't like working, but you got to do it. Same thing with your body. It's like,
Yeah, yeah. People say, or like, I can't eat the same thing every day. Like,
mhm,
I hate when I see that on a meal prep video. I'm like, okay, well, then you're gonna look the same every day.
right,
Like, sorry, not sorry, but like, you don't wanna discipline yourself. Like, you do the same thing every day when you go to work.
right, right.
You
And
do, like, I'm sure your workouts aren't different every single day, because if so, then you're not maximizing what you should be either.
right. And it's also, and a lot of times when people say that, when they say, "Oh, I can't eat the same thing every day," what they really mean is they're not talking about, "Oh, I'm eating chicken, but I'd rather have fish." What they really mean is I just want to have like crazy caloric fattening food, and it's like, well, I mean, you're gonna sabotage yourself. So because
Yeah.
calories is cumulative, so it's like you do well, 80% of the time, but then of that 20% you do so terrible that you're going to overlap the other 80. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll have
Mhm.
people they eat, you know let's just say like you eat 200 calories a day. I'm just throwing out, of course that's not real, but so 200, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? So that's 600. Oh, you're doing great. But then you eat 1,000 on, Thursday. Well, that's cumulative. So now that 200 that you ate like the prior 3 days, now it's not 200 anymore. Now it's more because, you add it all together. So, and sometimes people in their minds, they separate it. They're like, "Oh, well, I ate good today, so tomorrow I can go crazy." Well, no, because that's not how your body works. There's no stopping and starting. It's like
Yeah, no,
it's all
absolutely.
together. So
Yeah, sometimes you just got to get tired of your own stuff too, right? Like that's it. People have to mentally just be sick of themselves in order to start doing it. And that's the direction that my Instagram's kind of been going in lately too. It's just like,
yeah,
okay, are you sick of like getting in your own way? Let's go here. But discipline is a whole other podcast
right,
too,
right, right. I think there's such thing as like you said, you have to get kind of hit rock bottom and get tired of something and move forward. And then at that point, you have to put a routine in place. It's like if you don't put a routine in place, then you're just probably going to go like devolve back to with the way you were. So
I love when people say they've hit bottom because it's like, good, there's nowhere else to go but up from here. Like, it sounds so bad or probably so mean, but even like a few weeks ago, I can joke about it now, but like 8, 10 weeks ago, I was probably at my lowest point when people probably would have been like, oh, she's at her highest, she's getting her master's degree.
yeah, yeah,
Like getting like getting hit financially like that when I'm a full-time student, don't make a lot of money, don't have a ton have time for like a full-time job, and then going through like a really intense breakup, and then not being close to my family. Like my family was location wise, they were far away. My friends were all leaving for the summer, and then there was some other stuff that was going on personally. So it was just like that was my bottom. That was like the hardest thing. That's what got me to move out here. But it's like, okay, I'm getting sick of my own stuff. Where do I need to go? And like it can't get, it literally could not get any worse.
Yeah.
So it's like the only place you can that's left to go is back up, once you hit that point.
Kind of gives you like a little bit of freedom. There's been times in my life where it's kind of like it felt that way, like it can't get any worse. And it almost gives you like a little bit of freedom to be like, okay, well, now I can relax because the only way I can go is up. So it's like I don't have to be so scared to go lower.
Yep.
At least mental freedom. So
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
anyways, yeah, I know I'm cutting us a little bit short. We could probably talk for hours, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll have to catch up next time, talk about something
Yeah.
more specific.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We got discipline, we got sleep, we can do nutrition, we got all the things coming. I'm glad we just got to catch up and do this. I really miss doing these.
Absolutely, yeah, me too. Well, it
Yeah.
was good talking to you.
Yeah.
I'll catch up with you. We'll set up a time. We'll do it again.
Yeah. Catch you on the next one.
All right, take it. Bye.
Bye.